So what I'm showing you here instead of code is essentially the time lapse of the background I made for template. I think I did the event as well, but that can be explained a lot better later on when we get to the event, so I can actually point out parts of the picture that make sense. Otherwise, yes, I do kind of just try to make checkerboard dither patterns, which are kind of the easiest to make, I feel, but again, if you're making dither patterns, there are some templates that exist left, right, and somewhere else on the internet, but I mean, I'm sure you can look things up yourself. So as we quick play our way in a Thotu Cult Mizuki run, yeah, we'll just be talking about template really quickly. All I did was mainly image things. I did do some things on the side, but those are in my notes. Light, Takshi-san, second mystery, dexterity, knowledge, and maybe a charisma check, but boy oh boy, are we taking 6 stamina damage. So, if we're to get into Mizuki things specifically, have I ever went through a custom mystery that I felt was easier with ally attack than not? Because Mizuki would be closer to the golden standard. I wouldn't say she has everything that you would want for ally attack, although that's kind of... Actually, you know what? That's kind of biased for me, because then I would be like, oh, but then also take, like, Fast Swimmer and or Adrenaline. But obviously that's a bit overkill. So, as we get Akamanto, Template, Vigil, Recluse, and Colt, this is not as fun a run to ally attack, and I'm gonna actually force it here. You shouldn't do this. I've lost so many runs because of what I'm about to do here, but we're forcing ourselves to take template first, so yeah. And then this is the background that you saw at the very beginning. Supposed to be a light shining, but I'm sure I didn't get the perspectives right, although I will note something as we get into this event soon. But let's first grab our allies, because that's going to be the most important thing. As long as I remember that I'm not on, as long as I'm not on 7th Curse, because I did a test run where I was testing things out, and I completely forgot at one point I was on 7th Curse, and I had Mizuki in that run as well. So, that's not good, but hey, I do things. So, let's move into this event, and I will show you the only other graphic I worked on in the past hour or two. Literally takes me 30 minutes to an hour minimum to get these graphics pretty much online, but that's because I'm taking a lot from the World of Horror background as well. So you'll note that this dumpster alley is actually just from the background when you're fighting in downtown, and this back is just essentially a modified background of the one of the main screen that flashes through on the main menu. So, as I hopefully succeed these, and I don't because luck is luck, yeah, I would have liked to show you the only other thing I've been playing with, and it's really just tokenized text. So it's a string that actually has hashtags that allow you to line break. As expected, they should work, but it helps to kind of just go through minute tests, I guess, and that's not the best way to phrase that, but I'll just leave it at that for the moment. But as for the rest of the run, again, that event and the second event afterward are going to take place in other moments, not particularly at the very beginning of the mystery, because I usually like to throw in I would prefer to throw in linked events in the middle of the mystery. Otherwise, if I'm putting them at the beginning, it's because I'm introducing something. I need to keep stating that, not because I always believe in it. It's not like every time I run into an event at the very beginning of a mystery, I'm like, oh man. It's just that, yeah, I have this very strict distinction. I think part of it is, when I thought about it, nice 10 roll by the way game. When I thought about it, I think it's because at the very beginning of a mystery, if you take your first main investigation, it's kind of, I don't mind it as much during a town mystery because you have the access to the town, so you don't have to immediately take care of the main investigation. But if you go into your main investigation and just get slapped in the face because you lose 2 reason, because RNG exists with stat checks, then it doesn't feel as great as, you know, going through and running into something pretty much truly random. Yeah, truly random, I would say. Also, we don't have a weapon, I just noticed. So actually, we're going to take Vigil first. We'll take Colt and Akamanto 4th and 5th, funny enough. Because I would like a weapon for what's going to happen to me later in this run. But, yeah, this is going to be a really interesting run, by the way. I don't often do this, but I figure because of me because of me basically limiting myself during the beginning, during the run, because I have to take template first, it results in a lot of weird things I have to do. Okay, anyway, yeah, throwing out a linked event at the very beginning of a mystery, especially if it has a chance, even just a chance minimum, to make you lose HP, whether it's stamina reason or doom or all 3 for whatever reason, if you decide to do that, I don't think it feels as good because it feels less like the player has control. Again, there are other details to this. One of them I mentioned earlier is that you're in town, so you don't have to investigate first. But I think you understand what I mean when I say that, the player may feel like they lose more control. For a first run, like if it's the first time a person plays a mystery, it's not as bad because they're exploring the mystery for the first time. But if they play and they run into the mystery again, or a third time for whatever reason, then there is a chance that they just shrug, and if they fail a stat check 3 times in a row, then it's just like, well, guess I'll just lose 2 reason as an opener. That being said, it doesn't feel great the other way either, and the actually comparison we can use is Mermaids. Mermaids has an event where in the middle of the mystery, you just go into an event and you lose 1 stamina, 1 reason. Thankfully, it's not affected by penalty damage, if I recall correctly. Someone with hundreds of hours in World of Horror, by the way. But, yeah, it's not great to just eat that in the face. You have to expect to eat that in the face, and there's nothing else you can do about it, basically. Again, that's not always bad, because it sounds like it runs counterintuitive to what I've mentioned before, which is like you do need some events that just slap you in the face with reason or stamina. But again, those are in a pool of events in which you are essentially drawing on RNG to whether you get an event that just makes you lose 2 stamina or 4 doom, or you go into an event and for some reason you heal 1 reason or 1 stamina, or doom decreases by 2. I don't think I've ever seen that, by the way. But you get the point at this point. I think that's important. We're going to actually just fish for fame here. I know we're lacking in doom, but I don't have much recourse when we have 1 possible boss mystery waiting for us. That's my acupuncture ball rolling across the floor, by the way. Stat checks, but but definitely Recluse and definitely Akamanto, which running to Akamanto, we will have a lot more Doom to work with. So really, I'm not as scared about my Doom, but it is getting a bit high. We're starting our 3rd mystery with about 60% Doom. We're like halfway through, but you get the point. And that's therefore why, taking Fame, since we're going to be fighting 2 bosses and a possible boss, makes more sense to grab a skill that helps us with battle. Very much so, because the amount of allies skills helps you be faster with Fame. But that's kind of just redundant stuff. I am trying to fill time a bit. Although I don't remember how much it helps me during this boss, because it's a ghost primarily, but Sever, right? Yeah, okay, we can at least do this. It is still a lot of damage, but we have the Mystery Yakitori to heal more reasons, so that's why I don't feel as bad. Now, that being said, yeah, it didn't help me out in this encounter unless I choose to brace at some point, but then that would require me to kind of prepare things to throw. I could have thrown 2 Flame instead, you know what? Yeah, I was trying to save Doom, but we are in Recluse, and we're about to take Akamanto. We also just lost the Bath, so not taking more reason damage would be very, very helpful, I feel. But into Akamanto I go. So, I think there is a world where I save Akamanto for the last mystery. It's not one where a mystery may not present me with the boss, though. The funny part about this is that I'm playing Mizuki, or more directly, a charisma character. And oh, that makes me feel so sad. Wow, we can't even do that. Do I dare just take the Doom hit in the face? I'm actually going to brace here and hope. If we hit this, I think we're out. Because I could just choose to throw the Meat Cleaver. In fact, I will throw the Meat Cleaver. And if we run into another ghost, we're running. Oh, never mind. I can't roll well. Math. I just forgot. I'm not going to cut myself off yet because I just remembered, because I haven't played ally attack in the wrong way, that the damage fluctuates, and so it's 10 damage could actually be just 8. But that was my fault for flipping a coin and believing I could flip well as well, I guess, in the back of my mind. But yeah, without further ado, should have thrown the vanity mirror to be super sure. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video!